Hey, I wanted to take another run at this using forms in Skyslope. Now, hopefully, this is recording the video of this meeting so that someone can come back in here and watch it in the future. But I want to just show you once get my screen started to share. I wanted to show you how easy it is to use Skyslope forms and make it a little easier to get things underway for you as a new realtor or someone who's learning how to do transactions the EXP way. Okay, so I'm going to start sharing my screen, and it's coming to you. Yep, there it is. So now I'm going to take you over to what we have always used in the past, which is this. All right. So what I've told you about is using transaction desk. This is the way that I have typically done all of my transactions. This is still a way that you could totally do things if you wish, but I'm going to show you something that I've just recently learned that I think is going to be a lot easier. So, as part of EXP's membership fee or whatever, you get access to Skyslope. And under Skyslope, you will see there's regular Skyslope, and then there's books, forms, offers, Breeze, DigiSign. Essentially, through Skyslope and what we have with EXP, that gives us access to forms and to have DigiSign. So, but we're going to go to forms. As you can see, I'm here. And so you're going to just enter your EXP Realty information. I have mine saved, so that's going to be right there. And it'll take us right into like the landing page here, okay? So what I have done is I have gone in here and I've started a couple of different transactions. One for is if I was the seller, one as if I were the buyer. Okay, so what you have to do first, though, is you have to come to the libraries and you have to make sure that you have this one, 10 TN Realtors or Tennessee Realtors forms. If you only see these two that I'm highlighting, you need to do this, add an additional association library. So when you do that, it's going to take you to a way to add your Tennessee Realtor forms. So one thing you're going to need whenever you go to this step is you're going to need to show your NERDS ID, NRDS number. If you can't find that, go to Greater Nashville Association of Realtors or the Tennessee Associated Realtors website, log in, find that because you'll need it to be proven as needing access to those forms here. So, but what you'll do whenever you get ready to start a thing, you're just going to go a transaction, buyer or seller. You're just going to go through these libraries, and let me just show you. There's something that we need here on every transaction, buyer or seller, and that is this affiliated business arrangement disclosure. This is just a form that lets people know, hey, there's other companies that EXP owns, and they may reach out to you for a mortgage or for some other type of service in conjunction with this. You don't have to use those people. You can tell your folks to ignore them if they wish, but that is something that we have to make sure that they know. Keeping everything above board. So this is usually the last form that I include in the list of forms they're going to be getting, but it's the first one here. So you're going to just click add on all of these different ones. So then if we're going down through the list, you're going to see all of these that start with CF. This is probably, intuitive for you, but these are all commercial real estate forms. C, commercial, right? So unless you're doing some commercial business, that's probably not going to be something that you're going to have to get into much. But if you do, just give me a call or shoot me a text and I'll walk you through some stuff, okay? So then you're going to just go through these forms, right? You're going to have the exclusive authorization and right to sell. If you're representing a seller, you got to have that. They all of these forms are also available. Well, many of them are also now available in Spanish as well, as you can see here. So if you're not representing the seller and you're representing the buyer, then you're going to need the buyer representation form, Where is that? Exclusive buyer tenant broker representation agreement. This is the form where you will set up a period of time for you to be your person's realtor. It can be 3 months, 6 months. I always do six. But this is so you can see multiple houses together with someone the banner of being under the banner of just this one form. If you've got someone who's a little hesitant about signing a longer term thing with you from multiple houses, you can use the non-exclusive and basically do one of these forms for each house that you're going to show. So that's if you're representing a buyer before you show houses, you got to have this one or this one. It's got to have the exclusive or the non-exclusive. So again, everything you need, whether you're representing buyer or seller, you're going to click the add button to put it into the transaction. Okay. So then you see all the R's beginning here. R stands for residential. Isn't that cute? I'm sure you got that too. So you're going to just go through here and you're going to pick the forms that you will need for that. I have provided for you previously a listing of the form numbers that you need for either a seller as a client or a buyer as a client. Remember, you're never going to have both of those. You're only going to have one. But those RF forms are the ones that you're going to use to actually build your offer or prepare your listing to go to the market. Okay. And again, you're just going to come through here and you're going to add the forms that you need. Well, once you have gotten all those forms that you need, you're going to scroll all the way to the bottom down here and you will be finished. Eventually, it's a big long list. 205 different forms are available there. Oh, I got away from that. Get back over here. And so you'll see at the very, very bottom, I think, where are you? Uh-huh. Oh, I haven't added anything. Okay. So assume that I added a bunch of forms. At the bottom, you would see continue. Okay. So I'm going to go back here because I've already done that. And here we are. Let's just look at the ones that are created if I'm representing a buyer. Okay. So you click on that house, and this is going to show you the 11 forms that I have added previously to this transaction. Okay. And you can see right here, you want to link this to Skyslope. Whenever all this takes place, you link it to Skyslope, and it's going to make it so much easier to get these forms into Skyslope regular so that our EXP people can look at those and determine that we're all in good shape. But to add these to an actual signing, right now, these are just pre-signing, okay? You still have to select each of these in order to make them a part of a signing. All right. So I just selected them all, and you can do that too. Then when you click fill and send, it's going to put them into a signing. All right. And this is also, well, this is not actually the signing yet, but this is where you're going to come in and you're going to make sure that you have the forms in the right order. So if you're representing a buyer, the agent you're working with, they always appreciate seeing the offer up front. So you're going to put that one at the top. At the very bottom, you're going to put your exclusive buyer agreement. Your exclusive buyer agreement. And then you're going to have these other forms here that some of them should be supplied by the listing agent, not you. Okay. So one of those is the RF 201 or the RF 203. These are the forms about the property's condition. 201 is required if they've lived in the house as a primary home. The 203 is what they get to use if they haven't lived in it as a primary home in more than 2 of the last 5 years. Okay. So if it's been 3 years since they've lived there, they can use the 203. But again, if you're representing a buyer, the 201 or the 203 should be something supplied by the listing agent. All right. Then the 302 comes next. This is the confirmation of agency status form. This is the thing that tells the other agent that you are officially a designated agent for the buyer. All right. In this case, I'm both of these because I'm buying for myself. And it just so happens this has my name as the seller as well, or the licensee. Yep. as the listing agent too, because that is true. That is what I am. I am also on this because it's our house, right? So, but you will use this opportunity to make sure that you are showing and establishing there is a clear designated agency in place between you and the buyer. And so that tells the listing agent that you are legally and contractually allowed to offer this offer. Okay, so those are the order of the ones you want to come in with that are so important. If you've got a house that is built before 1978, this is the next thing that you're going to want to put in there. If not, you won't have it at all. But houses before 78 may have lead-based paint, and there is a whole little form here just in case that is the case. All right. And then after that, you get into a couple of forms that are just useful for us to make sure that we are serving our clients the exact right way. Okay. One of those is using this RF 304. The reason why this is here is just a form that is a disclaimer for all sorts of things. You're not a structural expert. You're not a roofer. You're not a home inspector. You're not a termite person. You don't know about environmental hazards. You don't know for sure about all of this stuff. You can't guarantee anything about this house. The only thing that you can offer your expertise on is on just the real estate transaction. You can give them advice about what you think the house should sell for after it's repaired or in 5 years. You can give them estimate, but it is only that. This is something we have to have in here so the person you're representing in the buy knows that you are not trying to say that you are an expert in anything other than a real estate transaction. Okay. Try to remember that. Then the RF 308, the wire fraud stuff that goes on in the world today is crazy. There are many, many times that criminals will try to snake someone else's money. And you have to make sure that you look closely at everything to make sure that it appears to be either from me, the agent that they are using, the title company that we are using, or the lender that we are using. And be on the lookout for anything that looks fishy, like, hey, that email address is just a little different, or this phone number is slightly different. Anything that represents one of those three people, the buyer's agent, the broker, or the lender, is a potential place for someone to have their money taken from them. So this is a wire fraud warning to help people know to be on the lookout. So because it's so important, this is a form that EXP absolutely requires that we have signed together. Okay. So once you have been through all of these forms, and I'll take another time, a video, if you will, to go through these forms. Actually, I'll probably do one just for the purchase and sale agreement, and then I'll probably do one for the other forms all combined because this one is 11 pages long and there's a lot of things here and it deserves more time. But basically, as you're going through here, everything with blue, you don't want to skip past it unless you have considered what should go there. And if at any point you are stuck and you think, I can't answer this, stop, text me, and I'll help you out, okay? So just as a general rule, though, from here, after Davidson County or whatever county it's in, nobody's really looking for the office deed and the books and the pages and or this instrument number or any other kind of description. No one is really using that very often. They might. So, but you can pretty much count on using this form after the county. You can kind of glance past these. But then every other blue box is something that you should be thinking about what should go in these boxes. Okay. Last thing you want is to send an incomplete form because guess what? Then you're going to be doing it again. And that sometimes can make a client feel like you don't know what you're doing or you're not organized enough. And we just want to get in front of all that and show, hey, I'm awesome. You can trust me to do things the right way. Now, that doesn't mean you're not going to make a mistake because guess what? This guy, Nashville's favorite realtor, oh yeah, I make mistakes all the time. I pretty much every month I have someone call me and say, hey, it looks like this form maybe didn't get the right thing here. There's still another name there. And I'm like, but the more you look closely at it, the less likely that is to happen. Okay. But it's not about you being perfect. Okay. So that is how we do this. So once we've got everything filled out the way we want, we click the prepare signature box down here on the bottom right. And this will take us into where we create the envelope. The envelope is just like saying we're creating a signing, okay? You create the envelope. This is who will need to sign. I'm the buyer. I'm the buyer's agent. I'm actually the listing agent too. So I'm in here for all three of these things. In most cases, it's not going to be all the same names. If you're representing Carol Adams, she's the buyer, and you're the buyer's agent, and then there's going to be some other listing agent like Jamie Morse. She may be the listing agent, or Shaquila Gilbert, or Melody Tereska. It could be any of you and many, many more who may be the listing agent or the buyer's agent. So just believe that's coming your way. All right. All right. So anyway, once we've got this lined up, this shows us, hey, okay, I need to sign this. That person needs to sign. That person needs to sign. Where it says no action, this is something we need to pay attention to too. If the buyers or the listing agent doesn't have anything to sign, they probably still need to be here because you can automatically send them a copy of everything whenever the signing is complete. And that's good because again, that's one less step that you have to complete. So you get those the way you want them, you click next. And it's going to load up all these forms into a signing. So this is pretty cool. It's fairly easy. I think it's cleaner and easier to do than Transaction Desk, which is one reason why we are going to do this. The other thing is with this Skyslope forms and DigiSign, when these are done, it's going to be so much easier to put them into a transaction in Skyslope because they're already technically in Skyslope, okay? So just keep that in mind. It takes one step away from Transaction Desk where we would go back here and select all those documents that are now signed and then forward them to the Skyslope address that had been created. Now we're already here. We just saved ourselves a step, okay? So let's be in Skyslope unless you just can't figure it out, and then talk to me and I'll help you figure it out, okay? Just once more, if you are working with me, if we are working together, I'm not your boss. I'm not even like whatever. I don't know I'm not your boss, okay? I am a teammate. I am someone who wants to help you be successful. I'm someone who wants to help you find your way in the best way possible. If I'm making you a better realtor somehow by what I can share, then that is good for me. All right. But we are on a team. We are working together. You don't work for me. I don't work for you. We are working together to help things work in a better way overall. And together, I think the people that we get to work with are going to be happy. And if we help our clients be happy, we're going to be happy. If our team of people, agents are happy, everybody's going to be happy. Let's cheer each other on, right? Okay, so now I'm here and I just want to show you one of these forms just to show you how this works, okay? I'll get to a signature page down here on this one here. Okay, all right, so this shows us the signature blocks. So if you have a listing, ideally this form would be filled out and you would already have a signature from the seller here with a date and time. But this is where the buyer's signature is going to go in. And so if you see up here, it says the signer is Steve Greenwood. That's really, really small right now. So let me see if I can make that a little bigger. And that's not that much bigger. Anyway, you could tell that. It says signer, Steve Greenwood. If you click this little drop down, it's going to show you both people that are in this signing who are signing. Now remember, you set up who is going to be signing. So right now it's orange. The orange color always is going to match up with the buyer. So if you needed to put another signature into this of the buyer, you just click the signature field. Then you come into the document wherever you want it, and wherever the little crosshairs of that plus sign is, it's going to put a new signature block. All right. And every time we do a form, we're always going to have the date and the time be in there as well. When they click this, it will automatically fill that out. That way there'll be a timestamp on this. EXP requires us to have a date and time stamp, okay? So then if we scroll down to, let's go to the 302, Here we go. The confirmation of agency status. We got the buyer name is Steve. We've got the licensee name who's helping him buy it, who is also Steve. So down here, look at there. You got an orange one for the buyer. You got a blue one already in here for the buyer's agent. Then again, ideally, the listing person would have provided you one of these with their side filled out and a seller signature and the listing agent's signature as well. All right, but as you go through, this is the now you're looking at these documents one by one, just scrolling down to each place that needs signatures. All right. And it's good to also notice on some of these forms, like if you use the 209, there are some small little boxes that have to do with the agent and the buyer when it comes to how we're going to handle this 209 lead-based paint disclosure. But get into the habit of looking closely at every form, look at every box to make sure that you're not leaving something undone. Okay. So here we go. Again, this is another one that if it was built before 78, the seller should be providing this one for you, having already filled out their part of it. See, seller and licensee for the seller. That's another word for the listing agent, right? So you're just going to scroll through each of these forms. All of these forms that are over here now that we're putting signature blocks in are in the same exact order as how you set them up. So if you look at this and you want this to be in a different order, then you got to come out of here and you got to fix it, because I don't believe it allows us to do this. It doesn't. See there, I'm trying to move it up there and it won't do it. So anyway, so you get to the end of that, and once you have double checked to make sure every blank for names is full, the date and time stamps are also taken care of, then you get to the very bottom of this and you can hit send. When you hit send, it's going to ask you a couple of little questions, and then when it's going to go off to the people that need to sign it. Okay. And that's how you use Skyslope forms to get yourself set up into, let me see here. Stop. Where's the stop sharing thing here? Where'd you go? Hey, that's how you're going to use Skyslope forms and DigiSign to get yourself into a rhythm, having the right forms set up with the right destinations, and get them into Skyslope to help you look and act professionally as the excellent realtor that you are or are quickly becoming. All right, so I'm going to close this down for today. And I hope you'll get a chance to check this out and hit me with some questions. Let me know, is there something that you didn't understand about this? Text me or call me, whatever you need to do. I'm available to you 24/7 unless I'm sleeping, and then I won't be available to you. So y'all have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.